Time now for Michigan's #1 outdoor radio show, Mike Avery's Outdoor Magazine. Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Jay Sporting Goods, the Yider Insurance Group, Angler Quest Pontoons and Polarcraft Boats, the Forward Corporation, Primal Tree Stands, Shadowhunter Blinds, Security Credit Union, Garber Chevrolet, and by Michigan Brand Meats. Now, here's Mike Avery.
Well, thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine show right here on the Outdoor Magazine Radio Network. My name is Mike Avery, and I am so glad to have you along with us as we continue this weekly celebration of the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan. And as we are recording the show right now, it is an absolutely beautiful day. Now, we know it's not going to stay like this forever because it is only early April, but I'll take this weather while we can get it. That is certainly the case. What a great time of year. What a great time of year this is. The weather's changing on us for the most part. It's working its way into nicer weather. The rivers are full of fish. The woods are full of turkeys, although not in the woods that I planned on hunting. I got to be honest, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous, getting a little bit concerned. I have ZZ, which starts April 17th. It's the Southern Michigan private land hunt, and I'm thinking it's good that it's a 6-week season because I might need it. I had two pieces of property, two buddies who have allowed me access to their land. And Doug and Scott, I appreciate that. Scott always has a ton of birds. His property is overrun with birds, and he had graciously invited me out there. So I had that as one spot, and my buddy Doug, my neighbor, has another spot very close to the house that last year was overrun with birds as well. In fact, I hunted there last year and saw, I think, 4 or 5 different toms, longbeards. But here's what's going on at Scott's place. They're doing some habitat work next door, on the property next door, and it's driven the birds out of there. And it doesn't look like that habitat work is going to be done by the time the season starts. And even so, if it is, it'll take a while for those birds to work their way back in. That's okay. I've got Doug's farm as a backup, right? I have been over there almost every day because it's where I shoot my recurve to get ready for the season. I have not seen a bird. I drive around the section. I have not seen a bird out in a field. I go over there in the morning to listen for gobbles and have not heard a bird. I take a call out there in the morning to make a couple of calls to try to get a bird to respond, and it's dead quiet. It's silent. From everything I can see, it looks like the birds have absolutely moved out of that section. Why? Where did they go? Well, I don't know where they went for sure. But what would cause birds to leave an area? They're there every spring. Like I say, last year there was a ton of birds in there. I had several close encounters, got a shot at a bird, hit a bird, made a bad shot and didn't recover it. So I wanted to go back there again and redeem myself. But it honestly does not look like there's a bird in that section. Now, what could cause that? This is what I've been asking myself. I'm asking you too. I mean, if a big number of predators suddenly moved into the area, like if there was a bunch of coyotes that came out of nowhere, but I don't see it. Are there coyotes in the area? Of course, there's coyotes everywhere these days, but I don't think there's a large number of coyotes that suddenly moved in. I don't think that's it. You know, if somebody had come in and logged off one of the woodlots, you know, and there was nowhere for the birds to roost, well, then obviously they'd have to move, but that didn't happen. What else could it be? A change in food? if their food was suddenly gone, but I don't see that either. I mean, nothing has changed since last year. So where did those birds go? And why did they go? I don't know. I do have one more spot that I'm hoping to get access to. It's an area that we deer hunted on last fall, and our agreement with that landowner was that it was a deer hunting agreement only. We didn't talk about turkeys. I did reach out to him. I reached out to Gene to see if he would allow me to turkey hunt there if I need to, because I know there are birds out there, but we're still waiting to see what happens there. And if he does, it would just be out of the his generosity, because it wasn't part of our agreement. So I'm concerned. You know how much I love turkey hunting. You know how much I love to interact with the birds and hear them gobble and get them to respond to me and come into my decoys. I mean, I love every aspect of that. I love every part of that. I love being out there in the morning and watching the woods come to life and hearing the woods come to life, hearing that first gobble on the roost. But it's not looking good for me. Will I be out there? Absolutely. Even if I know there's not a bird in the area, will I go out there? Of course I will. But I won't hunt as hard or as often. It might make me want to switch over to walleye fishing a little earlier than what I normally would. The good news there is the boat that I'll be running this summer looks like it's almost done. They need to hang the motor on it. They, being the folks at AnglerQuest, Apex Marine in St. Louis, Michigan. They need to hang the motor, but the motor's in-house. That was a concern at 300 horse Merc. Big motor, beautiful motor. But motors are in short supply. Well, they've got that in-house. Now they're waiting on the electronics. This year, I'm making a switch from Lowrance over to Garmin, and I'm excited about it. To be honest, I mean, I know Lowrance is a great name, great product, but I've had some problem with my Lowrance units in the past. The last two of them have been a little bit squirrely, and they're not cheap. So you want to make sure the things are working the way they should be, and I've had some problems. So when Brad suggested I switch over to Garmin, he said they've had good luck with that. I'm all for it. But now getting that Garmin unit is going to be the challenge. So we'll see. Some things to look forward to. Turkey hunting, and of course walleye fishing on my beloved Saginaw Bay on that angler quest. I did see something weird last week, though. I was driving down the road just before dark, and I see something waddling down the shoulder of the road in front of me. I'm like, what is that? It's not a turkey. It's not a dog. What is it? And I get closer, and I see it's a beaver. And are we in the city limits there? I think we are, or right on the edge. And it's not real far from my house at all. And there's a beaver waddling down the side of the road. I didn't know we had beavers in that area. I didn't know there were beavers right there. I drive through there all the time. I've seen no signs of beaver activity. And you know when there are beavers around, right? Because you see their handiwork. And you know when a beaver takes down a tree because of the way they cut it down and the shape, the stump that they leave. And they usually cut a lot of them down. I've seen no beaver dam, no signs of cuttings, and there's a beaver wandering down the road. And I followed him down the road for about 50 yards before he finally just wandered off into the woods. No water. I mean, there's water around, but he didn't wander back into water. Somebody told me, and this does make sense because you see it in bears, that in the springtime, during the mating season, the breeding season, that the young males are often driven out of the area so the older adult males can mate with the females. And I wonder if that wasn't what happened. If he got driven out of his home area and he's just wandering around looking for a new place. But it was pretty cool. Not something I expected to see, that's for sure. What else? I have a walleye fishing trip coming up with Lance Valentine of Walleye 101 on the Detroit River next week. Really looking forward to that. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand Meats is going with me, by the way. That'll be a lot of fun. Let's hope for a nice day then. What else? I got a phone call. No, I got an email the other day from a guy named Kevin Vistison. Kevin does the Deer Hunter podcast. He's a Michigan guy, but his podcast is a very well-known, very popular national podcast. And he said he wanted to talk with me about Mitch Rompola. Remember that name, Mitch Rompola? Mitch is the guy who shot that huge buck in northern Michigan, and there was a lot of controversy over it. People said it wasn't legit, it wasn't real. Mitch decided he didn't want to fight real hard to prove that it was. And now, 25 years later, still it's a big controversy. Well, Kevin is going to do a big podcast on this. He asked me to be on there, not because I'm an expert on it, because I had interviewed Mitch. I had talked to Mitch several times. I interviewed Mitch just after he shot that buck. And by the way, I believe it was legitimate. I believe it's a legitimate buck. And it's funny because the people who have met Mitch and talked with Mitch and know Mitch tend to think it's legitimate. And the people who are just naysayers and saying, no, it's not, that he's a liar or a poacher or whatever, have never met the guy. So I'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Anyway, coming up in this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show, after the break, Bob Ransom of Primal Tree Stands will join me. He's got a new blind coming out in addition to that Wraith 270 that I love so much. Ken Dalton from the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative reminds us this is the time to get your pheasant stamp. Later on, Chet Loar talking turkeys. I'm going to ask him, Chet, why would birds disappear? Maybe he'll have an answer for me right here on Outdoor Magazine. Ground blinds are a great option for hunters. They're safe, protect you from the weather, and they hide your movements. And the new see-through blinds take ground hunting to the next level because you can see out, but the game can't see in. Until now, you've had to pay a lot of money for that feature, but not anymore. Primal Tree Stand's new Wraith 270 see-through blind is just $200 if you go to outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code Mike20. The Wraith 270 features 270 degrees of visibility, silent slide windows, and it weighs just 16 pounds. It's lighter and less expensive than the competition. To get yours at the discounted price, go to the website outdoorpregame.com. That's outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code Mike20. That'll drop the price to just $200. Again, go to outdoorpregame.com, use the promo code Mike20, and you can get a new Wraith 270 see-through blind for just $200. I think you're going to thank me for this one. If you like to troll, you need offshore tackle. For walleye, salmon, trout, muskies, and even crappies, Offshore has something to make your time on the water more fun and productive. Take a look at the new heavy-duty Tattle Flag wire, and don't forget about the popular crankbait tuning tool to get the best depth and action. Offshore's lineup of inline planers will take your baits out to the side and into the fish-catching zone. Check out the OR38 mini boards for a stealthy presentation, or the time-tested OR12s to pull just about any lure configuration. And for the big jobs, the OR37 SST Pro mag boards are what you need. Offshore can help you get your baits down to the fish, too. The resettable tadpole diving planers come in 4 sizes for any bait and any depth. And be sure to look at the time-tested Pro weights for precise depth control. For more info on any Offshore product, check out the website offshoretackle.com. That's offshoretackle.com. It's been true for years, and even more so today. Offshore Tackle is your leader in trolling technology.
It's a complicated world we live in. Right about now, I'll bet your head is spinning like a tornado with news and opinions and conflicting do this and don't do that recommendations. Some days, you just want to throw up your hands, go to the woods, and stay there. And you know, that's not a bad idea. Jay's Sporting Goods encourages you to get back to your roots. Do some simple, traditional things for a while. In Michigan's great outdoors, space is one thing we have plenty of. So put as much social distance as you like between you and everyone else, including all your social media pals who somehow just recently became experts on every topic. And one more thing. Before you head out, head into Jay's Sporting Goods. Because even though there are shortages of a lot of things these days, Jay's has just what you need to make the most of your escape to our beautiful wide open spaces. It's the gateway to social distancing the way God intended. Jay's Sporting Goods, Clare and Gaylord.
Every deer hunter knows it takes more than being in the right place at the right time to tag a monster buck. It also takes the right equipment. A Shadowhunter Blind is the right choice. Made in the USA, our blinds come in a variety of sizes, made with professional-grade materials, sound and scent control, silent windows, critter-proof protection, and so much more. Visit your local Shadowhunter dealer or visit us online at shadowhunterblinds.com to see why Shadowhunter Blinds are built to a higher standard.
When you buy a Michigan hunting or fishing license, you're helping to fund conservation efforts across the state. The majority of funding for taking care of Michigan's fish and wildlife comes from you, hunters and anglers, not state taxes. So on behalf of the Michigan Wildlife Council, we'd like to thank you for your part in ensuring that Michigan's hunting and fishing heritage will be here for generations. Learn how the Michigan Wildlife Council promotes the role of hunting and fishing at hereformioutdoors.org.
You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Traverse City on WTCM. That's 580 AM. You can hear us in Sandusky on WMIC, 660 AM and 95.3 FM. And you can hear us north of the bridge in Newberry, WNBY, 1450 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by the Linwood Beach Marina and Campground. Linwood Beach can be your year-round Saginaw Bay fishing destination and your Mid-Michigan Tracker and Angler Quest headquarters. For more info, check them out online at linwoodbeachmarina.com. That's linwoodbeachmarina.com. And things are getting real busy out there at Linwood Beach. Great people, great products, great service, great location. What more can I say? linwoodbeachmarina.com. I was talking before the break about turkey hunting and how much I love turkey hunting. And one thing is sure about this season, that my turkey hunting will be done while sitting in a Wraith 270 see-through ground blind from Primal Tree Stands. Now, I started hunting out of these blinds last spring and have absolutely fallen in love with them. The idea to be able to sit in the blind, to look out, to see the critters, see the scenery, but they can't see in, is phenomenal. Now, Primal Tree Stands did not come up with this concept. However, in my opinion, they perfected it and they brought it down to a price point where the average person can enjoy these blinds. The guy behind the Wraith 270 and Primal Tree Stands in general, his name is Bob Ransom. You know Bob. He's been around the outdoor industry for a long, long time, an innovator, a hardcore hunter, and a very interesting guy, and he joins us now on the Outdoor Magazine phone line. Bob, welcome back to the show. How have you been?
Oh, I've been great, Mike. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, listen, always a pleasure. You know, you are one of the guys in the industry that I've known for a long time and have so much respect for because, Bob, what you've accomplished over the years, you've created companies starting with just one product, one concept, grown them into huge entities, and then made kind of a switch midstream and started another company, and now look where you are with Primal.
Yeah, Primal's really off to a great start. And as you mentioned, we entered into the ground blind market last season, and, you know, that's going very well with our new Wraith blind.
I want to talk about that. Yeah, now I know the Wraith very well. That see-through blind, it's wonderful. By the way, folks can get one for just $200. Go to the website outdoorpregame.com, outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20 for $200. But now you've started to expand the line. You've got something else coming up for warm weather hunting. Tell me about that blind.
Yeah, okay. So we've got a blind that we're coming out with right now called the Breeze. And the Breeze is designed to address warm weather hunting. And if you've ever been in a ground blind, you know, in warm weather, it can be very difficult, to say the least. Because, you know, it's gonna heat right up inside. You know, all your ground blinds these days have a black interior and, of course, a camo exterior. You add those two things together, and you've got what can be a pretty warm situation. So what the Breeze is the Breeze has all sorts of, you know, bottom, low-lying ventilation windows, which is easy to do. But what we did in the top of it was we put a secondary roof. And what that does is it creates separation and allows ventilation, superior ventilation, so that heat can dissipate when you need it the most.
I think that's a great idea because, late spring turkey hunting, early season deer hunting in the fall, you can be sitting out there in a T-shirt sometimes and just sweating like crazy. It's so hot.
Oh, yeah, and then take the youth hunt into consideration.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's still in September yet.
Yeah. Well, you're the only company I know of that's doing that, Bob.
Yeah, well, we saw a need. There was a niche there. How can we get some ventilation, and how can we make it so that on a 70, 80 degree day, it's not just a very, very uncomfortable situation, especially when you're hunting with young people,
Well, what made you come up with this idea? You've kind of answered the question, but listen, we've all hunted in warm conditions and sat out there and sweated like crazy. What happens in your mind where you take a situation like that and say, hey, I know how to solve it?
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, the majority of my ideas come to me while you're sitting in the stand, while you're sitting in the blind, right? And that's true with most hunters.
Yeah, but not everybody can then make it become a reality like you can, Bob.
Oh, it seems to be, I'm in the right place at the right time sometimes, Mike.
As you say, Primal has been growing like crazy, but it's not just ground blinds. You're doing tree stands and other accessories these days too. Correct.
The real hot item these days are ladders. People want to hunt out of ladders for a lot of reasons. And we've got some patented technology in our jaw and truss system for ladders that make it both very safe and the truss system makes it very versatile. You can use all sorts of different tree configurations. Maybe sometimes when a conventional ladder with a conventional stabilizer bar wouldn't be able to work on that particular set. And, ladder stands, once you install them, they're quick and easy and very safe to get in and out of. But our jaw and truss technology with our ladder stands seems to be really what is driving a lot of our sales these days.
And I've been very impressed with that. I hunted out of those last fall for deer, and I'm not a huge fan of heights, and I will only hunt out of ladder stands, and the more solid the better. I'm telling you what, when you get that thing set up and you get it locked in, it's like nothing else. My son James was out there putting a couple up with me. He says, I've never seen anything like these before.
Yeah, when you lay the ladder up against the tree upright, you engage the jaw system while you're still on the ground. So that's a tremendous advantage over just a conventional ladder because, a lot of times you got to crawl up that ladder, and then that last inch or so when you've got to get near that tree to get that ratchet strap around the tree to lock it in, my ladders always seem to drop about 1 inch, and it always put my heart, right up into my throat. But when you can engage that jaw system from the ground prior to ever leaving the ground, that really changes the whole scenario as far as safety's concerned.
Well, and we should point out, too, people say, why are they talking about ladder stands right now? In Michigan, you can turkey hunt from a tree stand these days.
I did not know that.
Yes, at least with a bow you can. I know with a bow that you can, so that opens up opportunities right there.
Yeah. Well, one more thing, on that note, while we're talking about ladder stands this time of year, with the pandemic going on, I would say this to your listeners. If you're going to buy equipment to go out and hunt this fall, buy it as soon as you can get it. Because what we're finding is hunting, fishing, and camping is selling quicker than it's ever sold, and it's selling out. So if you're walking around the store in July and you see some of the equipment there you're looking to buy, and maybe you'll buy it next month or next time around, think twice about it, because we're experiencing sales quicker than and earlier than we've ever imagined. And your major retailers are selling right out. and that's unheard of.
I'm glad you brought that up, Bob, because we were talking about that earlier today. If you think you're going to want something this year and you find it now, you better get it now.
It makes perfect sense.
But what position does this put you as a manufacturer in? Because you've got a bigger demand for your product than you can fill right now.
Oh, we're working hard at it. We'll figure that out, Mike. Appreciate the concern, though.
No, but I'm hearing this across the industry. It's not just you guys. It's like there's such a demand, and there's a hard time getting product because the pieces that you need are in short supply, and shipping and everything else. I mean, it's a big puzzle right now, isn't it?
Oh yes, yeah, and it's not just Primal Tree Stand.
No, not at all.
It's sporting goods in general. It's hunting, fishing, and camping.
But isn't it nice, if there's one good thing to come out of this whole mess, is this renewed interest in the outdoors that we're seeing?
Yeah, it's really driven people to back to the basics. It's a great way to social distance.
And you don't have to wear a mask when you're out there.
No, you sure don't.
Bob, I got to tell you, that Wraith 270, I have absolutely fallen in love with it. It's become my go-to blind. I use it for turkey hunting. I use it for deer hunting. I use it for bear hunting. There's something about being able to sit in a blind and see your surroundings and have the ability to see a critter trying to sneak in on you. Because, in the past, when you sit in the blind, that was the downside, right? It controlled your scent. It's safe. It's comfortable. But you didn't have good visibility. Well, with these Wraiths, you've got great visibility, so there's no downside to it.
No, the one-way see-through fabric eliminates all your blind spots. You can see right through the window coverings, and so no matter what configuration you have your windows in, you can still see through the covering, which eliminates all the blind spots.
Now, will you continue to work on that blind design of the Wraith 270, or will you take any future innovations and put them into different products?
It'll probably be both. We'll continue to improve as we always try to do. But it might come in the form of a new blind. We don't know, but it's not on the market for this year. So. Right now, we've got the Wraith 270 and the Breeze, so that's what we're excited about.
Bob, hang tight. I got to take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, I want to talk to you more about the process of coming up with a concept, how long it takes to bring it to market, and some other things as well. Because when I have the opportunity to talk with Bob Ransom on the air, I'm certainly going to do that. Bob Ransom of Primal Tree Stands, the website primaltreestands.com, primaltreestands.com, and a reminder. If you go to outdoorpregame.com, you can buy this Wraith 270 for just $200. You can get a discounted price on the Breeze. There are a couple of other products there as well. If you use the promo code Mike20, that's Mike20 at outdoorpregame.com. If you do it now, you can have that Wraith 270 in time for turkey season. I will be sitting in one for my turkey season. I've got several of them. I've got several of those blinds. I figure at $200 a piece, why not? Why not? PrimalTreeStands.com and OutdoorPregame.com. We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, wrap up our conversation with Bob Ransom, and then after that, we'll wrap up the hour with Ken Dalton of the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative, reminding you it's time to get your pheasant stamp right here in the great state of Michigan. You can hear the Outdoor Magazine show in Alpena on WZTK. That's 105.7 FM. You can hear us in Houghton Lake on 98.5 WUPS and in Lansing on WILS 1320 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by MUCC's On the Ground program. OTG is a program to improve habitat for fish and wildlife across the state. For details, check out the Michigan United Conservation Club's website, mucc.org. That's mucc.org. By the way, if you want to save 25% on your MUCC membership, You can use the promo code Mike, all caps, MIKE, at MUCC.org and save 25% on your MUCC membership. And that's what I did. I used my own promo code to save money on my MUCC membership. You know what else I did? And I've done this several times. I've used my own promo code to buy Wraith 270 see-through ground blinds from Primal Tree Stands. If you go to the website outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code Mike20, you can get one of them for $200. And I've done that several times. And Bob Ransom of Primal Tree Stands, I appreciate the opportunity to do that.
Thanks, Mike.
So listen, where do we buy your products these days? Are you primarily an online company, or do we go to brick and mortar stores these days?
A lot of it's brick and mortar. You know, you can purchase our stuff on the Sportsman's Guide, Northwoods, Hicks Great Outdoors. And
outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20. I keep pushing that one. You notice that one, right?
Outdoorpregame.com. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great job. Thank you.
Bob, how long does it take from the time you come up with a concept to bring it to market? Like, for example, this new Breeze blind. How long of a process is that?
Normally you work a year out, but we've got some great people that work at Primal Tree Stands. One of them happens to be Ellie Holmes, and Ellie and I, we worked very closely and we worked very well together, and we were able to pull that Wraith project together in about 6 months.
Wow!
And that's pretty good, and We've really done pretty well over the years at knocking that lead time down, but I'd be working a year out.
Anybody I talk to who has hunted out of one of the see-through blinds can't imagine going back to the old-fashioned blinds.
No, it's you hate to use the term night and day, but it's night and day different.
Yeah, it is. Now, the question I always get, and I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you because you're the expert, can you shoot through this see-through material?
No, you cannot. We make blinds that have shoot-through mesh, and that's a very fine, very delicate mesh that's designed to shoot through if you wish to do so. This mesh that we're talking about, the one-way see-through mesh, you do not shoot through that.
Another question I get is on, like, the Wraith 270, is it waterproof? And I don't know how you're going to answer this, but I can tell you I have sat in these things in a driving rain, and they're surprisingly watertight.
Yeah. When you say waterproof and water resistance, in the industry, there's two different things. Waterproof is something where your seams have seam sealer tape. We don't use seam sealer tape, but I can tell you this, Mike. With all of our blinds, I have sat out in the pouring rain and not experienced any trouble whatsoever with leakage. And so, we probably technically need to say they're water resistant, but I can tell you from personal experience, like I said, it's in the driving rain, you won't have a problem.
Yeah, and even though you can see through this material because there are holes in it, you'd think the water would just pour through it, but it doesn't.
No, it reflects it. It reflects it and redirects it.
So at this point, Bob, is there just the two blinds, the Wraith and the Breeze, or are there others?
Well, we're coming out with some other basic models, but for 2022, we've got them on the drawing board, Mike.
And when do I get to see those, Bob?
Well, you'll get to see them this summer, Mike.
Excellent. Bob, I got to tell you, I'm so glad to be working with you again, and this Wraith 270 is a product that I believe in so much. So I'm excited to get a look at this Breeze, because if it's as popular as the Wraith, I think you've come out with another winner.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm pretty excited about it. We're pretty excited about it, and we'll be sure to get him into your hands right away.
Well, and folks can see him. Is it on the website? Is the Breeze out there at primaltreestands.com now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so folks can find it at primaltreestands.com, primaltreestands.com. There you can see the Breeze, you can see the Wraith, you can see the Emergency Descender, which is a wonderful safety product if you're a tree stand hunter. You can see the ladder stands as well, and much more at primaltreestands.com. All of this because Bob Ransom got back into the business, and Bob, I'm very glad to see that. And thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Mike. Have a great day.
You as well. Bob Ransom of Primal Tree Stands. Again, the website, primaltreestands.com, primaltreestands.com. You can see all of the products there. And if you want to get a deal on them, go to outdoorpregame.com and use the promo code Mike20. That's Mike20, and you can get a big discount on these things, including that Wraith for just $200. Like I said, I bought several of them at that price. I hand them out to my buddies, and I use them myself. I mean, how can you beat the price? We'll take a break here in the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, we'll change from, well, turkey hunting primarily, a turkey hunting conversation, to a pheasant hunting conversation. Now, why would we be talking about it now? Because now is the time, if you want, while you're buying your new licenses, to get your pheasant stamp. The pheasant himself, Ken Dalton, will be along to talk about that right here on Outdoor Magazine.
You'll do better at Garber. At Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. We're better for a reason. Like Garber's low price guarantee. Get incredible everyday low prices on a new Chevy Equinox, Silverado, Traverse, or Trax. Think you found a better deal somewhere else? Bring it to us, and we will beat it. Getting more options and choices is always better. And Garber's combined inventory is the Great Lakes Bay region's largest selection of new Chevrolets. Browse online at garberchevrolet.com. Then use our Buy From Home feature to purchase entirely online. And Garber Chevrolet's customer service is in a class of its own. We always put your needs first. Better prices, better selection. There's a reason why you'll do better at Garber Chevrolet in Midland, Saginaw, Linwood, Caro, and now Chesaning. Home of the low price guarantee. Online at garberchevrolet.com. Chevy, find new roads. You'll do better at Garber.
Have you tried the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks from Michigan Brand Meats? They feature two of my favorites, elk and pepper, and I think they taste great. I've been working with the Grillo family of Michigan Brand for a few years now, and I couldn't be happier. Michigan Brand is family-owned and based right here in Michigan, and they make lots of great products. From jerky, sausage, and those hunter sticks to their famous Michigan Brand hams, you can't go wrong with Michigan Brand meats. Plus, Michigan Brand can process your boned-out wild game, too. Check out the website, michiganbrand.net, for more info. That's michiganbrand.net. You can buy the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks on that website. Plus, you can get them at Jay's Sporting Goods, all Forward convenience stores, Jack's Fruit Markets, and many other great stores, too. There's a complete list on the website. Again, that's michiganbrand.net for the Mike Avery Hunter Sticks, the outstanding Michigan Brand hams, and lots more. michiganbrand.net. Security Credit Union wants to thank you for helping to make them one of Michigan's fastest growing credit unions. Check out Security's Debit Rewards program, where you can earn points just by using your debit or Titanium Rewards credit card. Redeem those points for great gifts and merchandise. Or how about the Save to Win account? That's a Security Credit Union account that gives you all the benefits of a traditional savings account, plus the chance to win big. Every $25 you deposit into this share certificate earns you an entry into the monthly and quarterly drawings. The more you save, the more chances to earn, up to 10 entries per month. You'll build up your savings, earn interest and dividends, and have a chance at multiple prizes. And remember, Security Credit Union loves to work with outdoorsmen and women, and they can help you with your next outdoor adventure. Check them out online at securitycu.org. That's securitycu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. The folks at Yider Insurance Group know you have lots of money invested in your hunting and fishing gear, and they want you to be protected. The Yider family has been in the insurance business for more than 75 years, and they build a reputation for taking great care of their customers. As a full-service agency featuring auto owners insurance, Yider can insure your fishing and hunting gear, your boat, snowmobile, ATV, and trailer, just about everything you depend on for your outdoor adventures. Yider also specializes in protecting outdoor-related businesses, From fishing guides to shooting ranges, anything for the great outdoors. The folks at Yider can help you because they're hunters and anglers themselves, and they know what we need from an insurance company. For more info, go to their website, huntingandfishinginsurance.com. That's huntingandfishinginsurance.com. Or call them toll-free at 800-975-6473. I trust the Yider Group and auto owners for all my insurance needs. Because with Yider and auto owners, you've got friends in the outdoor insurance business. Welcome back to Outdoor Magazine. My name's Mike Avery. Glad to have you along with us as we celebrate the outdoor lifestyle here in the great state of Michigan. This is a 3-hour weekly show. You can hear us on broadcast stations across our great state, including WBCK in Battle Creek. That's 95.3 FM. You can hear us in WKBZ in Muskegon, 1090 AM. And north of the bridge, let's go to Marquette, WDMJ 1320 AM. This segment of Outdoor Magazine is brought to you by Boning Archery. Michigan-based Boning Archery is celebrating their 75th anniversary this year. What a tremendous accomplishment. What a great thing to be proud of. 75 years as an innovator, a leader in the archery industry, making quality products since 1946 when Roland Boning invented Ferrule-Tite. These days, they continue to come up with new products for bow hunters, for target archers. 75th anniversary again. Congratulations, Michigan-based company. You know I love that. Check out the website, boning.com. That's BOHNING.com. And I will have Boning products with me and on my bow and on my arm and everything else as I'm turkey hunting this spring with my recurve. Boning.com, a great Michigan company. Want to turn our attention now to a season that technically doesn't start until the fall, but you can help right now as you get your new hunting and fishing licenses. Ken Dalton is with us. You know Ken. He's the pheasant. He's the man behind the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative, the website mphi.info. Ken, welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great as well. You sent me an interesting picture the other day of you holding something with a big smile on your face. Tell me more about that.
Well, I was very fortunate to be able to walk into the local licensing dealer and buy my 2021 pheasant license over the counter. And it was a great day because I'll give you a little history. In 2017, MUCC passed resolution to move the pheasant initiative forward, and 4 years later, we are purchasing licenses online and over the counter for our first, our second pheasant release, and it's just going to get better and better from here. And I'm just trying to get the word out to get the hunters to, if they have an opportunity, to get out and buy that license, go online and buy that license, and make this a true success.
Now, do you need this license to hunt, or technically can you hunt birds with just your base license?
No, this is the program is designed to release pheasants on state-owned lands and hunter access properties. And where these areas are stocked, they're just basically, you're going to need a pheasant license if you hunt any public land in Michigan or HAP land for pheasants. So that's how House Bill 4313 was written up.
So this is basically a new pheasant stamp then, isn't it?
It's a license. We was hoping it would be a stamp, so it would be collectible, but that didn't pan out. So it's just called a pheasant license.
Gotcha.
And you do not need it to hunt private property. And if you're 18 or younger, you do not need a pheasant license, so that we can use this as a recruitment tool to bring more young people back out into the fields with their parents and their guardians, or et cetera.
So even though the season isn't till the fall, if you buy this now, does it put more money into the program earlier to in effect release more birds for the fall?
Yes, that's what we're hoping for. Well, right now we're in a good program, but we want to make it a great program. And the more people that purchase this pheasant license, it's going to put more birds in the fields for the hunters. And I can give an example. We've heard it a bunch of times, but Pennsylvania sold 42,000 pheasant licenses for $27.50 a piece, and they release 220,000 pheasants a year in their state. So when we get this really rolling, sell 10, 15, 20,000 licenses, you can multiply that by $25, and that's the kind of money that we're going to have to work with to make this program expand throughout all of southern lower Michigan.
How much is the Michigan pheasant license?
$25.
$25. And you and I both know, and I can't let this go. You and I both know some people are mad about this, Ken. I think it's a great program, but some people are mad that they think they've got to pay this extra $25 now. What's your response to that?
I'm sorry they're mad about it, but it's something that we have to do. We've lost 50% of our small game hunters in the last 10 years, and we know that the ringneck pheasant is the star of the show, and he is going to bring large numbers of people back out to the fields. And I can give you an example. The first release in 2019, over 3,000 people came back out, recreated the state lands, and they spent over 12,000 hours in the fields hunting for these roosters that were released, and they harvested almost 5,000 of them.
So folks can get their new license now while they're out buying their new fishing licenses. Might as well get your hunting licenses as well. Is this the first time this pheasant license has been available? Is this the first year?
First year, yes, sir.
First year. So you can get it now for $25. If you want to learn more about the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative, go to the website mphi.info, mphi.info. Mr. President, thank you for your time, and thanks for pushing this. Appreciate it. Ken Dalton, Mr. Pheasant, they call him, because he is the guy. This is a great example of how one person with a vision and the willingness to work hard and not give up can make something happen, and that's why they call Ken Dalton Mr. Pheasant. We'll take a break here on the Outdoor Magazine show. When we come back, we're going to talk with Chet Loar. He is a Michigan hunting guide. I'm going to ask him why birds would leave. Birds that I was hoping to hunt this spring. Where'd they go? Ian Fitzgerald from MUCC will join me, and this week's Ask Avery segment talks about drones and hunting here on Outdoor Magazine.